Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This time we're going to go through a how-to guide on AFK Kril for up to 12 hours in one sitting. A lot of people don't really understand how efficient this can actually be, and it's a lot more efficient than you actually think. So when it comes to my bar setup is set up a little bit different than most people would. So I set it up to automatically do 12 abilities. You could do the full bar if you wanted to. That's completely up to you. But I do only 12 abilities. I have a couple extra abilities I just toss on there for shits and giggles. What I highly recommend is sacrifice first so you can get some prayer point. Or not. I highly recommend sacrifice first so you get some HP points out of it. Every now and then it comes in handy because you'll... Oh god, I'm sweating. Every now and then it comes in handy because you'll actually lose HP over time. Even though you do have Soul Split active, you will lose some HP, so having that sacrifice there is wonderful. I also recommend Death Swiftness being the second ability on the bar because it's nice to have that automatically drop. And just let it automatically drop. That way, you're AFK. You want as much DPS as possible. So dropping your Death Swiftness right away increases your DPS. Huge bonus. I put Ricochet after that, along with Corruption Shot and Dazing Shot. Now, because I'm using a two-hand bow, that's why I use Dazing Shot. If you're using crossbows, I highly recommend you use Needle Strike instead. Just swap that out. It's the only thing you'd have to swap out. And those are your basics, you know, right off the back. After that, I put the Snapshot, the Rapid Fire, and then the rest of it's just whatever. So those 7 alone are your core. That's where your DPS from AFKing is going to come from. And that's what you want. You want that DPS from your AFKing to come from those 7 core abilities. After that, it could be whatever else after that. It's really not that different. Now, I was questioned about Fragmentation Shot, why I have it towards the end. Well, Kril doesn't move a lot. You want Kril to move towards you. If you use Fragmentation Shot, you want Kril to move towards you. If Kril doesn't move towards you, you don't get enough DPS out of it. So it doesn't make it worthwhile. Now, you can move it around, up to you. But I've been doing this for almost 55,000 kills now. So I've kind of learned it over time, what works best. This works best for me. Now, what works best for me doesn't always work best for everybody else. I do use the Saren Godbow to AFK Kril. A lot of people don't understand why, but it's also my spec switch weapon for PvM bossing. But I do use that for AFK Kril. Now, if you're trying to do it like me, where I am doing it to save money on ammo, it's very minuscule, but I mean, I've been camping Kril for a while. I know where I can cut corners a little bit. You don't have to do the Saren God bow. You can do the Zarite bow. So the Zarite bow itself does not use ammo, which means you're saving a lot of money on buying resources to keep AFK in Kril. Another requirement that I highly recommend having is Bone Crusher and at least a Dragon Tooth necklace. Another thing to keep in mind is I do have a quiver on. Even though it has ammo in, the bow does not use ammo. But I'm using the quiver so I can actually get the added prayer bonus of 2. I put the spring cleaner in the pocket slot to save on space. I do have Local Dwarves, but it's sitting in my monolith in archaeology. If you don't have that, you don't need to wear an Asylum Signet ring like I am right now. You don't need to wear an Asylum Surgeon ring like I am right now. You can actually just wear your Luck of the Dwarf. Luck of the Dwarf is highly recommended. Guarantees a little bit more loot per hour. Not much, but when you're camping there for 12 hours, it can mean the difference between making 20 mil and making 50 mil. When you're AFK in Kril, you're going to be using mostly the Penance Sora. That way you can get your prayer points back every attack you do. The Bone Crusher and the Demon Horn or Dragon Tooth, whichever or you use, will also give prayer points back for the bones buried by the Bone Crusher, which helps out significantly. You can change this however you wish, but this is my recommendation: is armor gear with Pernix augmented, and then obviously at least scavenging 4 and efficient on your top. You can do biting, you can replace it with whatever. I recommend Scout 4 though, so that you can actually get some components for invention while you're AFK, and that's pretty OP. And then the bottom Relentless 5, Crackling 4 helps out a little bit for the DPS. Awesome. Now we're gonna scratch that. We're gonna move over to Yak. So I do take a Yak. I Yak for 12 hours, which is weird. I will AFK Kril for 12 hours, which does sound weird, but it works. So I take overloads, obviously. So what I tend to do is I bring 19 6-dose holy overloads in the Yak. Now, you gotta remember, a 6-dose overload is 6 minutes. So, doing the math, it's 5 flasks of holy overloads equals 3 hours of AFK Kril. Now, give or take a little bit, because generally, if you're not paying attention full on, you'll actually use even less and can get away with it. Because of that reason, 12 hours of AFK Kril is 20 holy overload flasks, which that's crazy to think about. That's really crazy to think about. 12 hours of AFK Kril equals 20 holy overloads. So we only put 19 in the Yak. Now, like I said, we are taking the Yak, so what I do is I also bring a super restore flask, toss that in the Yak. You're gonna use that for, renewing your Yaks. Now, I fill the rest of the Yak up with more Yak pouches, because you want these things to last. Alright, so now I'm fully geared up, I'm fully set up. So here's how I actually run this down a little bit. We do have another Yak pouch to be ready to reset. Once you hit 1 minute left on the Yak, you want to reset it. Otherwise, you're going to be picking up all your stuff and putting in the Yak. It's not fun. I do not use a totem on Anachrona. I actually use the Omni Soulstone, which actually keeps your kill count. So what it relates to is 1 in every 5 kills, you get 1 point added onto the Soulstone. So every 5 kills you do at Kril, normal mode Kril, every 5 kills you do, you get 1 kill added to the Soulstone. I bring note paper to note all the supersets. So all the supersets, the super range, and the super defense, I note them all and keep them. I bring Yak scrolls for all the uniques. Next up, we have the Holy Overload, 6-dose, just casually sitting there, along with the Super Restore Flask. So I do bring 2 Super Restore Flasks. One is in the Yak, one is in the inventory. So I bring 1 of every item that's in that area loot. So I already have it in my in my inventory. So Feathers, Steel Dart, Steel Arrow, Rune Arrow, Runite Bolts, and Dragon Bolts E. I bring 1 of each. It's not a lot, but it's, money. That's free money. If you're area looting once in a little bit, it's free money. Also, I bring 1 of each of the Super Range, Super Defense, Grimy Dwarfried, and Crushed Nest. The Crushed Nest and Grimy Dwarfried are always dropped every now and then, so you're going to be picking those up if you area loot. On top of that, the super set I like to have in the inventory, so I could just have it already there. I don't have to fondle around and make room for it. I also buy a lot of Viswax. Viswax will be your best friend. It's the most expensive part of it. Every hour that you extend on the Penance Aura is 100 Viswax. Now, this is where the Aura resets come into play. After the 2-hour instance, you'll want to reset the Aura. So when I'm in the instance, I actually buy 2 hours of instance, so it matches up with the Penance Aura, and then I AFK. I just AFK through it, reload everything, blah blah blah. Not a big issue. But the Viswax is there to extend the auras, while the aura resets are clearly to reset the auras. So we're gonna go ahead and activate our prayers. We're gonna activate our overload. We're gonna open the door. We're gonna go right in, and we're gonna stand right here at the door. We're gonna turn on Penance Aura. and we're gonna go ahead and call our familiar, because for whatever reason you go on the door and it just doesn't want to pull your yak in right away. This is where you're gonna AFK. This is all you're gonna do. You're gonna stand right here in this doorway and AFK. That's it, and you're set. This is how to AFK Kree. Alright guys, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and follow for more videos. Also, if you would like, follow me over on twitch.tv/NamcoDan. I do stream at least 2 to 3 times a week. I also do live stream DJing performances at my part-time job every Saturday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. For now guys, I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.